Square or?
No, it's crooked. I can't look at that.
I know.
Now
It's
back a
easier
little
if
bit.
you set it to the right time before you hang it up.
Perfect.
Just like at home.
Okay, with string.
And just about to check out. I know. Good morning to everyone. The time is clicked over at 9 o'clock and I'd like to welcome everyone and declare the June meeting for the Edward River Council open. As part of our process, item 1 is the live streaming statement. The Edward River Council wishes to advise members of the public that council meetings will be recorded and will be available after each meeting on the council's website. All care will be taken to maintain the privacy of those in attendance. However, as a visitor in the public gallery, your presence may be recorded. By remaining in the public gallery, it is assumed your consent is given in the event your image is broadcast. This includes any filming by television cameras if in attendance, if the attendance is approved by the General Manager or Mayor. Item 2 on the agenda is acknowledgement to country. I would like to acknowledge we're here today on the land of the Wamba Parippa people. I would also like to acknowledge and pay my respects to past Aboriginal elders, to present Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who reside within this area and their future generations. Item 3 is a statement of purpose. I've come here freely as a councillor without bias to represent the views of the community in considering the matters before us today, to vote in a matter I consider to be in the best interests of the community, and to observe the code of conduct and respect the rule of the chair and the views of my fellow councillors. Everyone is here, so there's no apologies. Minutes of the previous meeting have been circulated. Would someone like to move those minutes be received?
Yes, Mr Mayor.
Moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Betts. All those, any questions? All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Disclosure of interests. We all know that we've got some disclosure that needs to happen. We need to have those in, and the forms are available to Linda. Item 8 is mayoral minute, and it's put up. It's in regard to the Murray-Darling Association Region 2, of which we are a member. Just to fill in on a couple of things, you know, I've been a little bit critical of the association because I don't think it's been balanced in regard. And also Dennis Patterson, who's councillor with Shepparton Council, who's the chair of Region 2, is of the same opinion. And so he has been very positive in regarding to try and get the Murray-Darling Association more proactive in the water debate. And so what they are proposing to do is send this motion from Region 2. Now Region 2 is Shepparton, Campaspe, Moira, Edward River. Murray is not a member. Berrigan is, and Federation are looking at moving from Region 1 to Region 2. I don't know the reason for that. So it's a mix of both sides of Victoria and New South Wales. And the recommendation there is very basic, that the Murray-Darling Association does not support the proposed buyback of 450 gigs of water entitlements from the Murray-Darling Basin, that the passage of water intended for irrigation use downstream be minimised to flows that cause environmental harm to the river environs, and in particular the Barmah Choke on the Murray and also the Goulburn River downstream of the Eildon Weir. And if on-farm efficiency programs are used to obtain the 450, they should be subject to independent socio-economic analysis that proves such transfers cause negative socio-economic issues within the region. Now, they're nothing new, we've heard all those before. I was part of a Zoom meeting for Region 2 the other week where Rob Rendell, consultant, was there, and he was discussing the implications of this 450 gigs of order, I think it's called. If that goes ahead, in buybacks, there would be a further decrease in our region of 18% in regard to both rice and dairy. That's probably on top of roughly the 30% with water that's already been crubbed. So I think the importance of this is just highlighted by those stats that come out. That if the 450, I heard Philip Blythe on the radio this morning talking about the 450 being a very positive way. So I'll move that recommendation. Is there any questions? Councillor Wallace.
On page 17, Mr Mayor, you've got there the River Council support and no further water recovery from the GMID. Doesn't that mean that they're going to come and attack the MIL water instead?
Goulburn Murray.
The Goulburn Murray includes MIL.
Yes.
It's zone 10. But the whole thing is, Mac, they'll buy the water that's of higher security. And that's why, say, Golden Valley, they're actually lost 50% of their water because of the buyback, because it's a higher security product.
So what the intent of Region 2 is to get it to the AGM of the Murray-Darling Association and have it debated and get it passed instead of the previous actions by the MDA have been very much slanted towards those large other amount of members downstream. Sounds great. So I've moved it. Is there a second of that?
I'll second it.
Second by Councillor Foley. Any further discussions or questions? All right, take a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Item 10, reports to Council. Item 10.1, Mayor, Councillor and General Manager meetings.
I'll do that.
There's a list of those there. Moved by Councillor Hall.
Yes, second it.
Second. Any questions on those meetings? Moved and seconded. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. 10.2 is resolutions of council. There's a list of them all there. Is there any particular items of resolutions there's questions on? Moved by Councillor Bull, seconded by Councillor Wallace. Questions, comments? All those in favour? Against? Carried. Item 10.3, investment report.
I'm happy to make the recommendation.
Moved by Councillor McCrabb. Give it a second. Second by Councillor McAllister. Any questions? You could get away easy.
No question from me.
That'll be the first time ever I can remember.
Yeah.
Councillor McCrabb.
Man, can you just put the clock forward 2 minutes while you're
It's true.
No typos? Not there yet.
Moved and seconded. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Item 10.4, the interim audit report. Yeah, in your hand.
Yeah, thank you. The interim audit, the interim audit this year went really well. We obviously had to do it remotely with the COVID restrictions, but as you can see there, this year we only had 3 matters raised, all quite minor, with one being complete. So the team worked really hard with that, and I think, you know, a big improvement from last year. So we have the auditors due back September or October, just depending on if things are going to get delayed due to COVID restrictions, and we get to know whether that will be on site or again remotely. But the team is still working towards getting ready for that. But they're on track, which is great news.
Well done.
I think we could congratulate
Yes.
And I should declare at the start that the mayor is actually quoted in the report, and it's not Henry, and so I'll declare that.
That one's complete as well.
So I move that recommendation.
Moved by Councillor McGregor, second by Councillor Bull. Any further questions? All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. 10.5, planning proposal. Four.
Item 10.5 relates to planning proposal 9, which is the floodplain controls to be inserted into the Deniliquin Local Environmental Plan 2013 and 1997. It's recommended to council that they make the instrument for the amendment. They amend the Deniliquin Development Control Plan, and that once the Deniliquin Development Control Plan commences, that the flood planning levels policy be repealed.
I'll move.
Moved by Councillor McAllister, second by Councillor Betts. Any questions? Moved and seconded, no questions? All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Oh, sorry. Councillor Fogarty? Aye.
Aye.
Councillor Hall? Councillor Metcalfe? Aye. Councillor Wallace? Aye. Councillor McGrath?
Aye.
Councillor McAllister?
Yes.
Councillor Betts?
Yes.
Councillor Bull?
Yes.
And the mayor, yes. 10.6, the Deniliquin public domain meeting, where I can find it.
Item 10.6, the Deniliquin Public Domain Technical Manual. This was prepared to assist in the implementation of the Deniliquin Master Plan and any other future public domain projects, mostly for council, but also for any private developers. It's essentially a style guide of things like furniture and paving, just to ensure consistency amongst projects, to make sure that we're using, the same chairs, the same style of paving, whatever. And it's recommended to council that it adopt the public domain manual.
I'm happy to move that.
Moved by Councillor Bull, seconded by Councillor Metcalfe. Any questions? No comments? All those in favour? Against? Carried. 10.7 is the draft recreation strategy.
The draft recreation strategy, council received a briefing at the June workshop on the Carnargo Camp draft proposal, and it's recommended to council that the draft recreation strategy be adopted and that submission authors be notified of council's decision.
I'll move the recommendation.
Moved by Councillor Fogarty, seconded by Councillor Bull. Any questions?
I've just got one question, Mr Mayor. It's in terms of the 22 recommendations that, and they seem great recommendations, but I'm just wondering, do we need to formalise a subcommittee at a working group meeting to actually ensure that we succinctly work through the recommendations? So because really often we see documents like this come through that are useful documents, but then have a habit of sitting on the shelf. And perhaps if we formed a subgroup that could succinctly work through each of those recommendations to ensure that they actually come to life.
So if I just comment, I think that would be a good move. Can I suggest that the recommendations that came out of the Halls Committee review also, because there's some pretty tough recommendations to implement through there, particularly where there's disparities and there's inequities and committees have to change their way. And it's going to be a tough one for the staff to deliver, and if we've got a group there that can just consult with councillors as we go through and identify some of the issues and maybe modify the approach, I think that would be really worthwhile. Otherwise, you're correct. These recommendations and the whatever the number is out of the Halls Committee review will just be too hard to implement.
Yes, yeah.
But to my understanding, there was going to be a position field to cover governance, and that possibly would come under that umbrella.
It probably will. The interviews have been held for that position. That person will have more than just those recommendations to deal with.
So we're going to move.
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
Councillor Hall. Any further questions?
I just wonder, does that additional bit need to be added to the recommendation, just as a prompt that it happens?
An action.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
So moving and seconded are quite happy for that to be added to the recommendation. Any questions on that? No? All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. 10.7, 10.8. Edward River Oval Concept Designs.
The Edward River Oval concept designs, they were considered by Council at a meeting on the 16th of April 2020, where Council resolved to defer consideration of concept designs to consider issues of access and egress and the mooring poles. The concept designs were referred to Transport New South Wales, and they're happy with the traffic arrangements on Davidson Street as they are at the moment. And they advised that they were referring the concept designs to Maritime New South Wales, but we had already done that as part of the exhibition in 2019. In terms of the existing moorings, there's 2 existing moorings at Edward River Oval. One of them has been constructed and is being used, and the second one has development consent but does not appear to have been constructed and is not in use. And what the report advises is that Council would need to assist and meet the cost of the relocation of the moorings. And however, it does note that if the mooring that has not been constructed and is not being used still has not commenced, that Council should not meet the cost of its relocation. And that it's anticipated the moorings the moorings that are in the concept designs will be used as moorings for these 2 particular boats. Council also met with Yahweh on the 28th of May to discuss inclusion of cultural elements in the concept design, and that was agreed that Council could include elements in the final designs. I think that would be subject to final consultation if Council were to adopt the concept designs and the works were to be funded.
I'll move for discussion.
Sorry.
I'll move the recommendation.
Move the recommendation, Councillor Hall. Second. Councillor McCredit. Any questions? Councillor Fogarty.
I'd like to speak against the motion, Mr Mayor. Item 10.6 in developing and adopting the technical manual really emphasised the importance of the master plan. When you compare this draft plan to what's listed in the master plan, it's vastly different. And when we formed the Edward River Council, this master plan was to be our overall document of what we were going to develop and how we were going to develop it. And there's still we've done a lot of work that's in this, and that's fantastic, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And I think before we go deviating from this master plan, we need to complete the work that's in it. Particularly around the development of boat ramps. One of the submissions that we received was around we need to fix boat ramps that we already have, which fits with our financial policy of renew, not build new. And there's one, the Sloane Street boat ramp is actually listed in the master document as an element that needs to be looked at and to be renewed. So under those circumstances, I find it really difficult that we can deviate from a document that was to be our master plan and to also contravene our financial policy, which says we will renew and not build new. And under those reasons, I highly oppose the endorsement of the Edward River Oval concept.
Thanks, Councillor Foley. Mover and seconder, do you want to speak to the motion?
Well, yeah, I'll speak to the motion. I think it's something that when we developed or got the funding for the Strong Communities back when the merger took place, that there was a strong emphasis on a river or an Edward River master plan, a river plan. So hence the money was given to design and consult with the community about what would be great to bring our river into the 21st century, basically. And hence this has come forward, and I think it's not saying that things are going to be built tomorrow. It's going to be a plan that we can work on at stage in years to come and develop our biggest asset is the Edward River. I have no doubt about that. And I think this is right in the middle of our town, and to see it flourish in years to come with access to the river, boating, it'll just bring us to a whole new dimension. And I really want Council to urge you to support the document. It's not saying we're going to do it tomorrow, but it's a long-term vision that we need to have these plans in place. Yeah, we did have a master plan, but plans change, they evolve. We're really going into a lot of consultation with this, and I think it will be a fantastic opportunity for the town to thrive in years to come.
Yeah, Councillor Hall, do you want to?
No, I'm quite happy with the comments of Councillor Hall, and agree that it's not something that's necessarily going to be funded out of the council's pocket in the short term. But we need to have some of these plans and projects shovel ready for funding that is coming up all the time. And I think it's a good plan, and I think it addresses some of the needs of the council area.
Thanks, Councillor. Okay. Any other comments? Can I just ask a question, Julie? The need to move the two moorings, regardless if one's not there or not, if they've been approved, is it because we've designed stuff to put in there, that's why they have to be moved? So we can't move the design around if everything's flexible, as we think, so you don't have to. I'm just looking at the practicality side.
I think you'd have to look at the detailed designs and work out whether you can accommodate the two moorings plus any additional moorings down the track. So it would really be a decision ultimately for council in consultation with the mooring owners.
We're probably only talking about one mooring because the other one hasn't been built.
No, it's been approved for the spot.
So the moorings, are they going to be relocated upstream or downstream, or?
No, they'd stay
that plan?
in that, yeah, essentially where they are. However, council will make a decision around the detailed designs.
No other comments? We've heard arguments for and against. I'll put the motion as is. All those in favour? Against?
Aye.
Carried. 10.9 North Penny Tennis Court.
Council resolved at its meeting.
Rest stop, I should say, not tennis court.
Council resolved at its meeting in November 2019 to exhibit the designs for the North Deniliquin tennis courts, and it opted to exhibit the design which is in attachment 1 of the report. Council received 6 submissions in relation to the design, which are detailed in the report, and I have also indicated approximate costings for the design which was exhibited, which is $970,000, and attachment 3, which is the concept design that wasn't, attachment 3, which is the concept that wasn't exhibited, is estimated to cost $420,000 to exhibit, to construct, I should say. And to date, council has received $300,000 funding through round 3 of the Stronger Country Communities program, and has applied for an additional $100,000 through the round 2 of the Drought Communities program.
I'll move the recommendation for discussion.
Thanks, Councillor Hall to move. Second. Councillor Betts. Any questions?
Just,
Councillor Hall.
just in terms of funding, so we've got 300. I want to make this clear because I don't. There's that much funding going on. What's our clarification around how much money we have for this project total?
Yeah,
300,000.
300, and we're pretty sure of the next 100.
Right. So 400
On Friday.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Just following from that then.
Just following that through, what have we spent prior to that 300,000 in regards to decking? What was there?
With the sprinklers and so on.
It's about $100,000.
Yeah. And that came out of,
Then that came out.
it was funded.
Yeah, it was funded from.
It was crowdfunding, wasn't it?
Yeah, an original
So
thing. So
that's
that's.
a total picture where we're at.
Yeah.
We've got 300 on top of what we've done so far.
Yeah, well, that was probably, with these costings, probably through to Julie's, that 100,000 spent, is that being attributed into the costings, or should that be
They're separate.
they're separate? So this is just distributed.
Yeah, so there's a bucket of money to pay for the designs, which has been spent. The 100,000 has been spent for the demolition and the making good, and then there's 300,000 committed for the construction.
All right. My question is, I think we'll get to the crux of the 970 is probably going to be a little bit strong for the council centre, in my belief. Is there a compromise? Because my issue with the design of the small design is that the 4 car space, I think it's just ridiculous. Could we incorporate the big car park with the small design? So we have some costings around that, and maybe because that's what, and that then just brings it back to I think a more manageable kind of budget that might be a bit more of a kind of by council centre to do the development. I personally think the 970 is probably going over the top. It might have this new smaller toilet block and keep the other one as well, so that would appease any issues there with get rid of the other toilet blocks. So there's 2 there. I think they will be extremely well used. I would like to probably see maybe not even having the gathering place, and maybe putting a little basketball hoop there for people to pull up. I think the more things you can give your kids, that's pulling up that you might get to stay. But I like the idea of also the interpretive signs that people know what we've got here in Denilic, but they might stay. That's my idea, is having a destination, pull up, see what we've got, and this is a really nice place, let's stay. But I think if we can incorporate the car park as a bigger car park with a smaller design, we might be able to come to a possible resolution.
With a basketball ring.
So are you suggesting then, Councillor Hall, that in the motion we alter, that we're not adopting the motion as detailed in attachment 1,
You want it
but a
further-
modified version?
Yes, like the foreshadow motion.
And really what you want is a combination between the two.
Because I think...
Car park but minor.
But this is where we were the other day.
Exactly.
Let's build something to the budget.
Yes, we've got 300,000, let's build something to
To the
that.
budget.
Yeah,
Well, let's design.
400,000.
Mr Mayor, let's design something that fits within our budget,
Yes.
and then look at that plan rather than a plan that's twice our budget.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying, just, we
Absolutely.
got 400 to spend,
Yep.
make it,
And the design fits the 400.
except with another 100, okay?
Yes.
It's not a year.
I trust him.
Mm.
And I think you've got to get the people to stay. So I think a bigger car park, it's not inviting, it's not accommodating for everyone you want to try and capture to stay. The rest you can potentially add to later, but you at least want them to stay as a starting point. So I would be more in favour of, I don't think 10 spaces is going to work, because you can fill up that other area pretty quickly. A couple of B-doubles in there, a couple of caravans, and the parking there doesn't allow for the little vanny things. And most people travelling have caravans or bigger vehicles. They're not just your average car. So, and that's, you're trying to capture that as well. So, no, there's no long, no.
Well, you've still got your truckaloise area, that building.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but you can fill that up pretty quick. You can get a couple of trucks that are pulled up in there, left their trailers behind. You can get a couple of four-wheel drives and caravans all travelling together. That's full, that's done. So they come to that big car, oh, we can't fit in there. That's a couple of cars, and they keep going.
Julie wants to say something about the park.
So just in relation to the parking, RMS did make a suggestion around parking along Davidson Street, and we've done some quick costings of providing a bit of a curb and gutter along Davidson Street for the frontage, and putting in some parallel parkings and a couple of caravan parking. We think around $25,000 to $30,000 was the estimation, and that would probably tidy up the Davidson Street, but also if you're travelling south, it's an easy pull-in.
Yeah, makes sense.
And RMS are happy with that proposal.
Yeah.
Well, they suggested something similar.
Happy with that proposal, but it'd have to be funded by council.
Yeah.
It's outside their area of responsibility.
Yeah, but can we maybe not cloud that issue with the design of this? Because if we have to
That could be
allow
a separate
that could be
issue.
step stage 2, something like that.
Yeah.
I think we concentrate on the design of this to make it work with what we have.
Work with what we've got to get it done.
The recommendation. So,
Maybe
councillor,
just to change that motion to basically adopt a motion that not item 1, is it?
Attachment one.
Attachment 1, maybe a combination to fit budget.
Yeah.
Just part 3 cover it?
I can't read it.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
design
right.
to fit within the current budget.
Yes.
Yes.
so you happy with that?
Yeah.
Happy, councillor Mills? Any other questions?
Yeah.
Amend the
It's
design.
similar, or amend the designs in attachment 1 to fit the budget.
That up the top.
Remove,
Pat, to fit available funds for
to
the
fit
project.
available funds.
For the project.
Yes, yeah. Mm.
Available funds available, whatever you want to do.
We might find more.
Mm.
Exactly right.
So mover and seconder are happy with that? Both nodding. Any other comments?
Anyway, no.
All those in favour? Against? Carried. 10.10, the May Environmental Services Report.
At the end of May 2020, we had 38 applications on hand. 11 were approved, the value of $205,000, and there was 2 dog attacks in May, and 4 fines were issued: 2 for dogs off lead, 1 dog attack, and 1 dog escaping.
I'm happy to move this application.
Moved by councillor McCrae,
Escape from the ranger.
seconded by
I'll second.
councillor McAllister. Just make a comment on those dog attacks. We seem to be heading to beat last year's easy.
I think the attack in February, which I think was the livestock attack at Winganella
Oh,
Balloon.
okay, right.
Yeah, but I would say generally dog activity is down, I think, because people have been home during COVID-19.
And we'd also happy with it being bought.
Yes.
That's right.
Even though we don't have an off-leash on
No, don't start.
So, Mr Mayor, on DA 4719, nothing from the applicant on that River Street shed.
No.
Thank you.
Any other questions? So I'm all right to move the recommendation. We note the May report.
I've moved it.
Have you?
Seconded McAllister.
McAllister, moved and seconded. Thank you very much. Any other questions? All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. 10.11, development application 620.
Development application 620, it's recommended to council that it be approved. It's for a covered outdoor learning area to be constructed in Grounds Park and subject to the conditions listed in attachment 2.
Moved by Councillor Betts, seconded by Councillor Moore. Any questions? We need a division. Yeah. Thank you, John. Councillor Fogarty.
Aye.
Councillor Hall. Councillor Metcalfe. Aye. Councillor Wallace. Aye. Councillor McGrath.
Aye.
Councillor McAllister.
Yes.
Councillor Betts.
Yes.
Councillor Ball.
Yes.
And me, yes. Pass. 10.12, major projects. Thanks, Stuart. In your hands, mate.
In my hands, thank you, Mr Mayor. So this report is the monthly update on the major projects, council's grant funded projects. You can see we still have quite a number of projects that council's working on. Included in the attachments there is just a status report for it. In terms of projects that are highlighted as yellow in the status report, one is sort of the Memorial Park area, working with GNA and the cricket, Rhinos cricket, in regarding the change rooms, amenities area at the back of the existing netball facility there. So, council staff, our project manager is still talking with both the Netball Association and the cricketers regarding that. There's some concerns about the proposed facility and its functionality in terms of those sports and that. So those discussions are just ongoing, and we're happy to continue working with both those groups. It'll just mean that the timings there in terms of being able to move forward, tenders made for that project will lengthen out, but we're talking with the funding body around how that project is progressing. The other item here, as discussed at previous meetings, is around the RAMS facility. We're looking at bringing that as a separate report, specifically around the RAMS facility, to the July workshop with how that's proceeding and some of the concerns that are raised with that, and also the discussions with the Director of Infrastructure there yesterday in terms of a press release. We understand there's concerns around the performance of the contractor. As the project manager, we're actually happy with the performance of the contractor. It's more issues around documentation and how the new work is connecting to the existing building, given that the existing building, its age and its condition. So that work's been a lot more complex than was originally allowed for with the documentation. So that's where the not with the performance of the contractor, who has actually done a done a good job and has been working with the project manager very well in sorting out some of these issues that have arisen during the works. But as I say, there'll be a specific report to the July workshop regarding that project.
Right.
Just to query with that, Mark, is works continuing or has work ceased?
Works are continuing. My understanding works are continuing.
They on timeline?
I'm not sure that they're on the timeline, but there has been sort of time concerns and lengthening due to dealing with some of those issues that have arisen during the project. So,
July workshop. Right. Right. The recommendations here to note all the progress report.
I'm happy to make that.
Moved by Councillor Crabb, seconded by Councillor Ball. Is there any further questions on any of those? No? All those in favour? Against? Carried. Lease agreement for the airport.
I'll move it.
Weather station.
Yeah, I'll second.
I'll move it, Mr Mayor.
Moved by Councillor Wallace, seconded by Councillor Metcalfe. Comments? Questions? All those in favour? Against? Carried. Local roads infrastructure program.
thank you, Mr Mayor. So following the June council workshop, council staff brought a number of projects up for the local roads and community infrastructure program, approximately $964,000 in funding, mainly aimed at community infrastructure and some associated works with roads. At the workshop, the council showed support for a number of projects and then added in 2 additional projects, culling out quite a number that was proposed by staff. So the report includes the additional projects plus the original projects from the June workshop report. So that means that looking at putting in an application for the community facilities refurbishment program, which is refurbishment works, painting, flooring, etc. for a number of halls and buildings. The airport hangar refurbishment project with the Bellman hangars, the visitor centre and Peppermint Centre upgrades, mainly around the customer service areas and shop area, urban rural cemetery upgrades, memorial park amenities upgrade, the new amenities block up near the P&A area with the canteen, and funding around the off-leash dog park. So council staff have had a look at the figures, budgets and that for them to come into the funding amount, 963,170. Understanding that there's still concerns raised at previous meetings regarding the off-leash dog park, especially around costs around fencing. So their costs that council staff in the development of the projects will continue to investigate, and we'll report that back to council just so that the scope of works around that does meet what we want to with the dog park, that is sort of financially feasible. Although the figure that was added in there is what's been budgeted or included in previous information to date around the off-leash dog park. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
I'm happy to move, Mr Mayor.
Moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Foley. Any questions? Silence is golden. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. We're ahead of schedule, so what we might do, shortly, we might go into confidential council.
Good idea.
That's what we
Get that done and then.
Yeah. Then we can all go home.
Yeah.
We move into
Can I
confidential.
just, for one thing, I'm not sure, it was Julie's last meeting.
Yes.
I think it's prudent we acknowledge Julie's services to.
Oh, we haven't seen those.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
So this is an official last council meeting.
Yes.
Well
You
done.
send up,
Yeah.
budgetary constraints.
Take it out of the office.
No.
We got a slush fund.
So,